Good day, everyone. My name is Kitsalas, and I'm from BSHM3A, and I'm here to discuss the Chapter 3, which is the Law on Obligations and Contracts. For our topic outline, first, introduction, B, learning objective, third, the law, fourth, discussion of the law, classification of obligation, modes of distinguishing obligations, contracts, and classification of contracts. For our learning objectives, first, identify the different kinds of obligation and contracts. Second, enumerate the ways of distinguishing an obligation. Third, enumerate possible applications of contracts in the tourism, travel, and hospitality industry. The law. A person desiring to engage in a business in the tourism, travel, and hospitality industry meet that can meet certain obligations. Agreements arising from contracts will have to be made and potential breach from these agreements will be encountered. Therefore, there is a need to study the fundamental principles involving law on obligations and contracts. Obligations. Article 1156. An obligation is a juridical necessity to give, to do, or not to do. Every obligation has four definite elements without which no obligation can exist, to wit, either the law or contract. First, an active subject, also known as the obligee or creditor, who has the power to demand the presentation. Second, a passive subject, also known as the debtor, who is bound to perform the presentation. Third, an object or the presentation, which is an object or undertaking to give, to do, or not to do. Fourth, the juridical or legal tie, the vinculum, which binds the parties. The juridical tie or vinculum Colon is based on the sources of obligation arising from either law or contract. The following are the obligations of the passive subject in first, obligations to give a determinate thing. First, to deliver the thing which he has obligated himself to give. Second, to take care of the thing with the proper diligence of a good father of family. Third, to deliver all its accessories and accessions. Fourth, to pay damages in case of breach of obligation. And B, obligations to do. First is if the debtor fails to do what he is obliged to do, it will be done at his expense. Second, if the work is done in contravention of the tenor of the obligation, it will be redone at debtor's expense. Third, if the work is poorly done, it will be redone at debtor's expenses. The sources of liability for damages of a party in the obligation are as follows. First is a fraud. The fraud is incidental fraud, dolo incidente, which is fraud incident to the performance of an obligation. Second, negligence. The negligence referred here in the case of contracts, common carry, inculpa, contractual, the lack of diligence or carelessness. The law. We have here the Article 1157, obligation arise from. So first is law, second is contracts, third is quasi-contracts, fourth is acts of omissions, punishable by law, and lastly is quasi-delicts. So for the next slide, here are the main points written in one sentence. The source of obligation. There are only two sources of obligation. First is law and second is contracts. Second, contract definition. A contract is a meeting of minds between two persons whereby one binds himself to give something or render some service. Quasi-contract definition. A quasi-contract refers to a lawful, voluntary, and unilateral act based on the principle that no one shall unjustify and enrich himself at another expense. Civil obligation from criminal offenses. Civil obligation arising from criminal offenses are governed by the revised penal code and the civil code provisions on damages. Quasi-delict definition. Quasi-delict or culpa aqualiana is any act of omission causing damage to another due to fault of negligence without a pre-existing contractual relation. For this slide, we are going to classify all of the obligation. First is the primary classification of obligations under the Civil Code. A. Pure and conditional obligation, Article 1179 to 1192. B. Obligations with a period, Articles 1193 to 1198. C. Alternative, 1199 to 1205, and facultative obligations, Article 1206. D. Joint and solidary obligations, Articles 1207 to 1222. Divisible and indivisible obligations, Articles 1223 to 1225. And F. Obligation with a penal code, Article 1226 to 1230. Second, the secondary classification obligation under the Civil Code. A. Unilateral and bilateral obligations, Article 1, 1169 to 1191. Real and personal obligations, Article 1163 to 1168. C. Civil and natural obligations, Article 1423. And lastly, D. Legal, conventional, and penal obligations, Article 1157, 1159, and 1161. We have also the modes of extinguishing obligations. Per the law, Article 1231, obligatures are extinguished. First, by payment or performance. Second, by the loss of the thing due. Third, by the condonation or remission of the debt. Fourth, by the confusion or merger of the rights of the creditor and debtor. Fifth, by compensation. And sixth, by novitiation. Other causes of extinguishment of obligations such as annulment, rescission, fulfillment or revolutionary condition, and prescription are governed else in this Code 1156A. So we have here the contracts, the law, Article 1305, a contract is a meeting of minds between two persons whereby one binds himself with respect to other to give something or to render some service. It was the Code 1254A. So to further discuss the law, the essential elements of the contract as follows. A. Consent, which is manifested by the meeting of the minds of the other of the offer and the acceptance upon the thing and the cost which are to constitute the contract. The offer must be certain, and acceptance absolute. B. Object certain, which is the subject matter of the contract. And C. Cause of obligation, which is established. We have also the characteristics of contracts. First is the mutuality of contracts. Second is autonomy of contracts. Third is relativity of contracts. Fourth is the consensuality of contracts. Fifth is the obligatory force of contracts. So for the classification of contracts, first is according to their relation to other contracts. A. Preparatory, are those which have for their object the establishment of a condition in the law which is necessary as a preliminary step towards the celebration of other subsequent contract. B. Principal, or those which can subsist independently from other contracts and whose purpose can be fulfilled by themselves. C. Accessory, or those which can exist only as consequence or in relations with another prior contract. Second, according to their perfections. A. Consensual, or those which are perfected by the mere agreement of the parties. B. Real, or those which require not only the consent or the parties for their perfection but also the delivery of the object by one party to another. Number 3, according to their form. A. Common or informal, those which require no particular form. B. Special or formal, or those which require some particular form. Number 4, according to their purpose. A. Transfer of ownership. B. Convenience of use. C. Redemption of services. Number 5, according to their subject matter. A. Things. B. Services. And number 6, according to the nature of the vinculum which they produce. A. Unilateral, or those which give rise to an obligation for only one of the parties. Letter B. Bilateral, or those which give rise to reciprocal obligations for both parties. Number 7, according to their cost. A. Onerous, or those which in each of the party aspires to procure for himself a benefit through the giving of an equivalent and compensation. B. Gratuitous, or those which in which one of the parties proposes to give to the other benefit without any equivalent or compensation. Number 8, according to the risk involved. A. Commutative, or those where each of the parties acquires equivalent of his prestation and such equivalent is pecuniarily applicable and already determined from the moment of the celebration of the contract. Number 9, and lastly, according to their names or norms regulating them. A is the nominate, or those which have their own individuality and are regulated by special provisions of law. And that would be all for this chapter, for the chapter 3. And I hope you learned something. And I will see you on the next chapter. Thank you and God bless us all.